What? Who's this on my screen? Yo, what's up, man? How we doing?
Hey, Eric, how's it going?
It's going. It's going. How are things? You look like you're nice and busy there.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. We just started doing stuff with school. It's Spirit Week for homecoming coming up. Got stuff going on around the house. It's a dreary, to paraphrase Brooke Benton in his song, "It's a Rainy Night in Georgia." It's a rainy night in Elwood City, Pittsburgh region. We're getting soaked today, but first time it came out of. I haven't been watching the news. I've been watching football and sports. Haven't been paying attention to the weather because it's been rather summer-like, and I was basking in the summer-like weather, even though the pool's closed. And
yeah, sure. Well, I was thinking, the can, it's out of air, and I really think that's the problem with Miami right now. I don't think they're inflating the balls enough. I think they're struggling, and their season kind of, I don't know. It's just crazy stuff going on in Miami, but yeah, wild, man.
Yeah.
But so Pittsburgh looking pretty good. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, we're first place in our division, although the Ravens are still favored, but that's the betting odds. They're still favored to win. People are putting money on the Ravens. Taylor Swift dropped her new album and a movie this past weekend.
Yeah.
I missed out on the Happy Friday with my classes. But they were all fired up because we had a Taylor Swift theme going on Friday. Every day in Schoology, I have different, if it's GIF or GIF or whatever, we've argued sometimes with the kids over it.
I'm a GIF guy.
Yeah. Every day, different theme. And Friday was Taylor Swift.
Well, I tell you, I was joking with my superintendent that I wasn't very happy with. My daughter works for a small company, maybe like 5 employees, if that. And their boss, the owner, sent a message out and said, due to Taylor Swift dropping her new album, you have choices. Your choices are come into work 2 hours late or leave 2 hours early. And I was like, so I heard this so Friday, I quick sent a message to our superintendent. Hey, my daughter works for a company. This is their option. Why didn't you send that out to us? Like that would have been hilarious. But yeah, so I think she made the smart decision. Get out 2 hours early. What's the point of delaying it, right? Good call there.
Start early, get out early on a Friday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not too shabby. So yeah, that was wild. But yeah, you have that. And listen, I need that stuff to talk about because again, like that duster that went flying, that's kind of like the Dolphins right now. Although I'm not too upset. I personally go against the grain a lot of times. My against the grain right now is that without Tua or without Tyreek, I think it's going to take pressure off of different things. Now it didn't come to fruition this past weekend, but we'll see. So there's a lot of video of McDaniels looking very sad coming off the field and walking into the locker room by himself. But I don't know. It's crazy.
I thought they were going to win because they were up.
Yeah. 14 points. They blew it.
Everyone in the North, it was a fun watch because I'm watching teams that I don't really like, but they were all losing. So I was happy. I was kind of happy because Miami was winning.
Right.
Then
appreciate that.
I was torn because Monday night there was a football game, and I'm not a fan of the Patriots because, they were our arch nemesis. We weren't
protecting your rings,
just a speed bump. But then I just like to give some of my friends up north a bit of a hard time about Buffalo.
Oh, and can't stand those Buffalo fans. Yep.
No,
talking to you, North Central.
I sent a text out. I'm like, trick plays, penalties not being called. This is just smacks of desperation. And I went to bed because I got a couple smart flashback. Like, this is just we have this game, blah, blah, blah. And I went to bed because I was tired. And next morning I got up, and first thing I do, pull up ESPN on my phone, and NFL Network plays a lot of the replays. So I put that on, and I saw that Patriots come back and won at the very end. So I sent a tag. I waited a little bit because I figured my good friend and North Central regional director wasn't up yet, and I waited. And at 6:00, I'm like, "Hey, How'd the game turn out? Send.
Yeah, they were trying to steal the Penn State mojo with the whiteout. The uniforms look slick, but I know from whomever was it, Al or whatever was doing the announcing, said, "Love the uniforms. We can't read the numbers."
Yeah,
I thought, oh, that's the ultimate right there. No, we're gonna mess up on all sorts of stuff. They can't read the numbers from the booth. I like that.
Yeah, can't get called for a penalty if they
that.
can't say your number.
Exactly. But now listen, I heard today on the Adam Schefter podcast, you need to be worried because there was a trade in your division.
Yep.
Joe Flacco going to the Bengals.
I know.
Look out. Look out.
This is the worst timing for the Steelers because we play Cleveland this week and they have that rookie quarterback and he did look good.
He didn't look
bad.
It
was like, it's better to get the rookie quarterback on his first game, not second game because the butterflies are out. Well, you lose hopefully a little bit of an adrenaline rush. And Flacco, he's old, but he's done damage against us numerous times. Yeah. He's going to Cincy. I'm like, man, we're just,
Yeah.
And then top it off, probably Lamar will come back and we go to play the Ravens. Right. But we kind of have his number. I'm not too. I respect him, but he does. He one of some of his worst games are against the Steelers, except for last year's playoff game.
Yeah. But they're banged up. And then in one of the podcasts, the Schefter podcast, or not Schefter, it was another podcast I was listening to. Dion let it slip. This is interesting news that goes with your division, that there was a phone call with his son, Shador, and Baltimore. And, in the end, he said, I'd rather try to have the opportunity to go to a different team than sit behind Lamar for X amount of years because of Lamar being a younger quarterback. Now, in hindsight, boy, wouldn't that be looking good right now, putting the tape out and stuff? But, hindsight 2020. But yeah, I don't know, but kind of crazy. And I thought they would have kept Flacco and traded Shador, but who knows what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But
Cincy,
wild stuff.
Yeah, Cincy, they may not have wanted the other one because they have that one guy. He actually, the Cincy quarterback, he actually played better last couple of years when he was out
right.
Call was out.
There's something Browning. Yeah, I forget they mentioned his name today, but yeah, it's crazy stuff.
When Burrow was out, dropping names.
Yeah. So wild stuff that, by the way, outside my window, the Pittsburgh rain has finally made it to the area. Oh, look at this. Little shout out there. Go Birds. Okay. All right.
I thought she was a Steeler fan.
She got her senses just switched. I don't know.
Well,
I do have to say I was last weekend. I was at a wedding, and a buddy of mine who was officiating is a big Eagles fan. And the couple walked up, and before he, did the intro and who gives these, he said, I just want to open up with saying because it was a Sunday, the Eagles were playing, he goes, Birds are up. He said the score, go Birds. And he started the wedding. It was the funniest thing. Everybody was just cracking up and the family had a heads up about it, but them Bird fans, man, you gotta watch out for them.
Oh yeah. Well, in the historical, I'm reading my other screen. That's someone said non-interventionism. Both have words for school, but in historical context, your Dolphins from way back, there's no more teams, no more undefeated teams.
Yeah, there was a big thing made of that. Yeah, definitely. The 72 Dolphins are their undefeated seasons. They had 3 or 4 teams fall. Yeah, just recently. So yeah, crazy stuff. All right, man. Well, listen, I think you and I meet so often, so it always confuses me what day it is. I think because we have homecoming week going today, and today was fun. We'll talk about that a little bit, but today is not Monday. Is it Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
I think we've just crept over into this little thing called it's October, right?
It is October.
And are we in the first full week?
Yeah, it started weird last week. It started like later in the week, so this is, I think, the first Tuesday of the month.
I believe so. Huh. So I guess it's time for
the PAECT Pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PAECT is a 100% volunteer-run organization that focuses on education technology integrations in the classroom in Pennsylvania
and beyond.
All right, my name is Eric Verno, and I'm the president of PAECT. And with me, as always, my co-host,
Dom Salvucci. I'm the vice president of PAECT.
All right, and today we are in episode number 88, entitled "Courtesy of AI: Fall into Learning, EdTech Strategies That Stick." So we're going to talk about some different things that's going on in the classrooms, going on in the fall. But I know you alluded to the homecoming concept. So you guys got homecoming week rolling now?
Yes, we've had Spirit Week. We started out with yesterday was Wizard of Oz Day, and years ago when I had my long curly hair, which I actually did, beard was shorter, it was black. I did for my daughter when she was little. She wanted a Wizard of Oz theme, so I went as the Wicked Witch of the West because I had the hair and the hat, and I didn't feel like getting up in the attic to get that, so I went as the wizard. I put the green curtain up, and the joke was, since my students don't listen to me anyway, I'm like, just, ignore the man behind the curtain as you usually do. And kids were like, what are you at? The number of students who haven't seen the Wizard of Oz or claim to not have seen the Wizard of Oz was just like, wow.
Oh, we covered each other. So so homecoming week for William Penn here. They just visited Dallastown and romped them on Friday night this past week. And so we have it too. So we're in an intermediate building. But I'm one of the fun individuals on our Spirit team who likes to pull up the random calendar of holiday days. And we're like, it's Bologna Day in Germany. We should celebrate that here in Dallastown. So, but we were able to, we've been constantly trying to work on, I think, because obviously in the high school setting, it's easy. You guys have your homecoming week, your Spirit days are all set, the games and all that jazz, it all rolls with it. So we finally got it pushed down to our building. So we've done it, but I didn't even see, I don't even know specifically what our high school's doing, but some of the days didn't really jive up, that at our grade level. So we changed it a little bit. So yesterday was like Wildcat Day, we're the Wildcats. So I was in my old coach's gear, like rain gear pants, and I had a sweatshirt on and had wore a hat, kind of a deal, a Dallastown hat kind of. And today was Crazy Sock Day, and I tell you, so I was definitely an interesting change of wardrobe multiple times. Kids got to vote on what socks I would wear, and I jokingly said, I gladly picked up crazy socks when the need for crazy ties started getting less and less and less, and I'm okay with that. So I had Reese's peanut butter cups mixed with Lego socks. I had Shrek mixed with Ted Lasso. I had KTI. Now the KTIs I wore together. Those I did not separate KTI. Just throwing that out there. And so a lot of conversation over socks. And I even, because I'm not a big, I'll wear sneakers, I'll wear shoes, but so I brought my UFO slides in. So I wore sneakers to school, wore them in the morning when I was in my classroom, pretty much, for the full academic blocks. I took the sneakers off and put the slides on so you could really show off the socks, kind of a deal. And then I was out doing some barefoot, shoeless punting for the kids, kind of showing them how, this old guy's still got some spin in him when it comes to booting the football, but that was kind of fun. So we were having a little kicking competition, but so I do enjoy that. So what wacky day do you got tomorrow? What do you guys going on tomorrow?
We have country, and I thought about doing to push it, because they said country or flannel day, and I was gonna, my buddy and I, we were kidding around, we're gonna dress as wrestlers from either the Volkovs or the Koloffs from Russia or the Iron Sheik, and come in, do the whole thing.
Motion,
Schwackers. The one year we had Jersey Day, and I convinced the kids I came dressed as Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. I put the white in my hair, slicked it back, I had the shirt like him, and the mannerisms without the bad language. The kids are like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's Jersey Day. I dress like I'm from Jersey. I says, I was going to go Jersey Shore, but none of the outfits were school appropriate. So I'm Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. And I convinced a couple kids, they're like, no, we're supposed to dress like we're from New Jersey. Mr. Sal was going to dress as Bon Jovi, but his hair wasn't long anymore, and different things. And
yeah, that's funny. So what's your, so we'll have tomorrow's I don't even know, wacky dress day or mismatch day. And then we have the flannel day too, and then Jersey day we're having on Friday, but ours is football jerseys, not New Jersey. But what would be your favorite kind of homecoming dress at school? What have you appreciated over the years?
We do different kinds, like the Jersey day we do. Today was pajama day. I thought about wearing shorts, but we had speakers coming in, and I was like, you know what? I just wore baggy pants. I don't like wearing gym shorts because I don't have pockets, and I get picked on because I wear cargo pants because I have the keys, I have my phone, pen. You know, it's like a briefcase in my leggings. So I wore my cargo pants because they're comfortable, and a t-shirt because I sleep in shorts and a t-shirt. Tomorrow's cowboy or like flannel. I'll wear. Picked up a lighted cowboy hat from ISTE. Thought about doing the Little Nas X cowboy dress up. I'm like, I might be pushing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we have Jersey Day. So it's like Pittsburgh jerseys. I don't know which one I'll wear. I have a couple. And then crimson and gold for the bright color.
It is. Yeah. Nice.
So
yeah, I know my daughters always like doing and I'll be interested if Jill and Megan have favorites of what they do at their schools. Anybody else listening? But I know my daughters do like I guess like different, how do they call it? Like they do like color wars, and then every grade has a color they wear, and they kind of like, combat against each other. So they always appreciate that. And I think they did the one year, it was pretty funny. They did an Adam Sandler theme day, and they all dressed was like some kind of movie. So like I don't know, Hoobie Halloween was being talked about in our house, like breaking with something out from there, or Billy Madison or Waterboy. But it's kind of funny. If you speak of Waterboy, one of the girls, let's see, so Meg, she said tomorrow's Mean Girls Day, and then let's see, dress as a teacher, your teachers dress as students. That is, I believe, my daughter's at the high school. They always like comment on the teachers that are like wearing the sweatshirts with the hoods up and hiding. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Meadville. Okay. Cranking it out. And I always love having those conversations with people when they're always like, oh, you're homecoming so early, or you're homecoming so late, or this or that. I always joke, and we've talked on the pod before, that's based on the football schedule. Yeah. You got to figure the last home football game of the season is senior night, and the home game prior to that will be homecoming. So it always adjusts based on the schedule. And it's funny because I was even hearing, I think it was college football, one of the shows, and they were talking to the former players were like, who was your homecoming rival? Because you'll usually have one or two you kind of bounce between. And it was kind of funny hearing them dog on other programs or whatever, different things are back in their era. So everybody has the homecoming tales and the outfits and all that jazz. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That makes it fun.
Yeah. We'll do throughout the year. We do a couple theme weeks where we dress up and stuff. And we've done movie characters. We've done, the color wars, different things like that. And I try and participate in them as best I can, but like it was a hot weekend. It was summer. Like I wasn't climbing up in the attic to go through. I have, much to my wife's chagrin, I have bins of my costumes over the years that I've built up and made. And and I'll dress like for Halloween. I'll dress up in a costume usually, do different things. And then one of the kids, I was in my study hall. One of the kids called me out in the hall, Mr. Sal, you got to come here. I'm like, what? Dude, come here. So you got to see this. And I said, I don't want to look at your, no, like someone put on, one of the kids, my students put on Snapchat, Mr. Sal teaches, picture me, Mr. Sal teaching behind a green screen. He's always doing something weird. And it was just like, I started laughing when I saw it. He's always up to something. He's always doing something weird. I'm like, like last week, I had the kids, when they finished their projects they were doing, I started having them build a Lego wall. We're doing the Maginot Line tomorrow in school. Because we had so I have a couple Ozobots, I have a Sphero, and I have a Cosmo, and we're gonna take turns storming the Maginot Line, finding the best way to go about it for World War II. Okay. I had them building that, and the kids are like, what do you have? I put the Sphero down and was zipping it around the room, and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's a robot. And like, is that a Cosmo? Like, no, this is a Cosmo. And I had the Cosmo I had running around doing stuff and got their interest. They're like, what are we going to do? Broke out the Legos at parents and teachers donated to my class last year after PAECT. And I said, build me, so we're building Imagino line, build it. And so tomorrow we're going to get the robots out and have the kids fiddle with that and talk about that. So they're just like, look at me like, I'm like, just go with it. Just relax.
Just roll with it. All right. Jamie's got USA for us tomorrow and then Country versus Country Club. I've heard of that one before. My daughter,
we've done that.
Wars on Friday. Yeah. That's funny. Yep. Or, and you did the different years and decades and stuff. That's always hilarious for teachers to be like, that's not accurate, or that is, or call them out.
Like my wardrobe is still from the 80s. So that's an easy decade for me. Although I did get a polyester suit years ago. I went as the 70s. I still have that suit in storage with the, in the storage bin up in the attic with the cedar blocks to keep it from getting all, moth eaten and stuff. I break that every once in a while last year was Captain Lou.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yep. That's funny.
I've done that. I've done Mermaid Man. I've done a flamingo.
Good stuff.
So the kids are like, you should go as a wizard this year. I'm like, well, I don't really have the full wizard beard, but.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's neat. Again, I love having those ideas and just kids seeing teachers in different light. But the most important thing about us having homecoming week is it's jeans. Today was shorts with crazy socks, but jeans all week. And I'm a big fan of jeans all week. I'll take that. So, but we had the hot weather to begin. Now the rain kind of tonight. Hopefully it's going to be finished off cool. So we'll see. But all right. Well, a lot of good stuff. And I know we got some, different things to talk about. Just to give the shout out that it's, a lot of work's been going on. And I have my Rockin' EdTech shirt. Now this is an ISTE shirt because, we don't have a PAECT shirt, but October 6th, Monday, PAECT registration has opened up and, working on the full, program things rolling out, the summit stuff rolling out. So you want to make sure you check your emails for that. Just even log on to the paetnc.org website and, begin looking at it and plugging in for those conference times. And I know it's a unique time in education. Hopefully, schools are able to still get their teachers in there to get some good PD. So, but excited for that rolling up. So that's been pretty big.
Yeah. And it's just with everything going on, with Tretsy's open for presentations. We have the higher ed PAECT higher ed conference still has presentations open, I believe. Yeah. Or it's either open or it's closing. It's closing soon, I think. Tretsy has presentations open. We just had Pictella out your way in Harrisburg. Our mid grades were due last week. Yeah. We're halfway through the first 9 weeks already, past halfway through.
It's crazy. Yeah. And we got conferences coming up and getting all that planned out. And so a lot of stuff going on, but I think we should roll into some tech notes and some tech news. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Yeah, as they say in those commercials, roll that beautiful bean footage. All right. Well, why don't you kick it off? Dom? Okay.
So to start off, I have several things. A couple of things are, one isn't really tech, but it is a very good opportunity. So starting off, I've used StudyStack for years for my flashcards. And I know there is the philosophy that, you shouldn't test things that can be Googled. However, as a social studies teacher, no matter what course you're teaching, kids have to understand the basic terminology before you can actually get into any content. So I always push out, here's the words you need to know. They're key for the content. And StudyStack is free for teachers. It's free for use. It's free for students to use. It has some basic games, matching. I've covered this before, crossword. Unscramble, you can print out crossword puzzles, quiz. Well, I came across AI chatbot, and I never paid attention to this before because I really never scrolled down. I just have all the words down below if you need them. So playing with this is free. It limits you how many you can do during the day. But, and I pushed to show my kids, our chatbot has said all that it is allowed to say today. Please come back tomorrow. It's tracking my computer. But if you were to go on, it opens up with your vocab list. And let me go back. I was hoping because I'm on a different computer, it wouldn't track me that way. And it'll say, we're talking about a lesson, keywords for World War II. And it'll start out with a true and false question. And you answer it, and if you're right, it'll say, correct, and it'll explain the term to you in higher details. Then if you're wrong, it'll say, good guess. However, that's not the correct answer. The answer is, and it explains why the answer is what it is. And if you go through and it has some like true and false, multiple choice, as I tell the kids, multiple choice spelling counts. If you misspell the multiple choice answer, it's wrong. But on open-ended questions, if you are close, the AI actually reads it. I mean, that was my biggest pet peeve whenever I put open-ended questions on, e-worksheets, online worksheets for the students. If the kids didn't answer it exactly the way you typed it in, it was marking it wrong for them. And so I never really gave too many questions that way on, online homework for the kids to look at, because then they don't know if the answer is right or not.
Right.
So, but it will go through, and I would check, like I showed it with the kids. We sat there every class. Here's what you can do. Type through it, and I misspell the word, spell it close, and see how far. Like, look, if you're getting close, it's telling you, it can identify you have the right term, and then give you more information on it. It gives you like a little, I don't want to say tutorial, but it gives you a little more in-depth information as to why the answer is correct. So for the students who, some students like the Hungry Bug, Unscramble, Chopped Words, Matching, they'll do these different games. Sometimes they'll go in, I put flashcards up in Quizlet, and they can work with those. I give them Quizlet, I give them Study Stack. And then this is just another thing they could do for the kids that don't want to do the flashcards, and just, click through and, word terminology. And then, the kids were showing me things. I had a student that wanted it reversed instead of he wanted the definition and then the term versus the term. So, and it's a free site, and you could have, as far as I know, unlimited. I've been using this for years. I have a ton of flashcard sets. So it's a nice tool, and it gives you a little more in depth. I used it with my students. I was hoping jump into another computer, it wouldn't track me, but somehow it did.
They're always watching.
Yes. But hey, I'm always friendly to it. So, it keeps that in mind.
When they take over, you're good.
Cool. Yes. So that's my tech tool. Is Study Stack now has the AI chatbot. So the next thing is Sunmark. I got this letter in the mail yesterday. Sunmark is a credit union, but they offer free to teachers a financial literacy program. So I'm going to talk with our economics teacher, and I'm going to see exactly. I have to reach out to the name on the letter I got and see exactly how much of this I have to use for me to get it for free. But it's either e-workbooks or physical workbooks. And it's a nice skill that the kids really need. A lot of kids don't get it. A lot of adults don't get it. But you can request information on the financial literacy. The program materials has an order form, evaluation form for the program. So, and I've done through different organizations and different websites have offered this over the years. When I used to teach economics, I would run like on Fridays. This would be a little micro lesson every Friday. We would do a financial literacy, some sort of economic unit on, skills for that. So I'm going to see exactly how in depth this is. I'm going to reach out to the rep, but it's free. So I don't want to waste it. But if it's not super in depth where it's going to take a huge chunk, like 9 weeks of my class out, if it's something I could do in small segments, I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to push the letter over to our economics teacher. But it goes from elementary up through high school, I believe. So this is a neat program. I'm going to look more into it. But if you teach financial literacy, if you're a social studies teacher, a math teacher, business teacher, sendmarkinc.com/educators. Reach out to them and find out more about the program. Like I said, they are a credit union, but I don't deal with them. They're not in Western Pennsylvania, as far as I know.
Yeah.
There's that. And then a couple other things. This Thursday, Literacy Under the Lights. The registration closed yesterday. But in New Wilmington, at the athletic stadium, I went to this before. This is the 4th or 5th year this is running, Literacy Under the Lights. It is a Remake Learning sponsored event. PAECT members organize this. This is a fantastic event. It's free for families. Going to the stadium, if it's a rain date, if it's raining, it's not supposed to, but if it's raining, it's inside the gymnasium. They have the concession stand open so you can purchase food and drinks. They have different organizations. I know Slippery Rock University will have several tables. Some of the other universities have student tables up with student groups. They have activities for kids. They have authors there reading. They have other community members reading out aloud for the kids. Bring a book, leave a book, trade it, take a book. Different activities, different cool things going on. It's 6:30 to 8 p.m. I went to that last year. I'm looking forward to going on this Thursday, October 9th, 2025, at the Wilmington Area Athletic Stadium. So if you go on the Wilmington Area School District's post, it's at the Terry Varelli Stadium, free admission. They just ask that you register only so they know how many people to expect ballpark-wise. But it is a fantastic event. So I look forward to keep going to this because it was fun last year. So we had that. And then as we were talking earlier, Three Rivers Educational Technology Conference, January 19th at Fox Chapel. It's at the middle school, I believe, not the high school. But they have a call for proposals is open. The student showcase proposals are open. And Innovation and Education Award nominations are open. There's information there at pghtech.org. And then if you go to /events, /Tretzy 2026, you can register, and they're looking for proposals. And we also have, as I mentioned before, if you go to PAECT.org, you can find the PAECT Teachers of Tomorrow Symposium, the Higher Ed Symposium. You can register to go. It's for pre-service teachers. A lot of information, 48 credits available for high school teachers, colleges. It's November 22nd, 2025 at St. Vincent College at the Fred Rogers Center. That's a fantastic place. I've been there for Western Pennsylvania Council of Teachers of English events, PAECT events. It's a great place, and it's easy to get to from South Central, North Central, Southwest, and Northwest. So it's easy from 4/6 of the state. It's easy to get to.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there. So those are the things that I brought up. And we have keynotes. We have local educators that are going to be the keynotes there. So it is good. And if you're, a college student wanting to go, or you're a college professor, bring your pre-service teachers, your education majors there. It's an excellent event.
Good stuff. Look at you sneaking in PAECT talk into your PAECT or PAECT Pod tech news and tech notes. All right, I like that.
Yeah,
suave, very suave.
It's a lot of information, but it is technology oriented.
That is true.
I had curriculum, and I had tech. Although the tech, I had to make up for it because I used my free limit.
That you did. All right, so let me get mine set up here. I got a couple of about 4 things to go over. Some of them we're going to do a little bit of a mix scenario. So I know last time when we had the infamous Miss Judy Keller on to talk about some Google stuff, as we were going through the week, I learned an interesting concept here. So I've been messing around with doing some stuff with Copilot. We got Gemini, School, the full thing. Perplexity is one that I use that kind of pulls all of them in to do a lot of my searches and a lot of stuff on my phone. Because I have through Samsung, there's a free account. So I have the pro plan for Perplexity. But somebody said we had this nonprofit organization come to our school and do a talk about, they're talking about AI, and they said, oh, well, what do you pay for? And I'm like, I don't. I use everything I can for free. And listening to friends of mine who are doing a Microsoft podcast, I learned this interesting tip. And that's what I want to show you guys today. So tech tip of things that are very helpful. So if your school has a Microsoft license, a Microsoft account, you get a lot of things. I'm usually big on talking about Minecraft, some other things like that. But what's really cool is, you got your whole thing here. But when you go into where it says quick response, this is where the key is. So for some reason, it's not showing up here. The drop-down box is not showing up on the screen like I thought it would. So let me stop this and share my screen a different way, and maybe it'll show the other way. Let's do entire screen. Boom. All right. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. So just to show, let me make this a little bit bigger here so it's front and center. All right. So let's see. Hopefully this works. There we go. So with this, it's a little different that when you click on the quick responses, you got a quick response, think deeper, GPT-5, which is a paid version. So even if you're using free ChatGPT or OpenAI, you have to pay. I think they're on the 3.5 or 2.5 level for free. You've got to pay for GPT-5, but hopefully that's coming up. Okay, I can't enlarge the font. And then there's deep research. So because of that connection with OpenAI and Copilot early, now they're doing some different things. But with your regular license, you're getting those higher levels that normally would cost money of the ChatGPT, the OpenAI AI in the back end. So that was a tip that I learned about using a lot of the different things. I'm like, oh, that's very interesting, be able to go in there. And they're doing a lot with, the imagery. Before it used to be Microsoft Designer was big, but now in a lot of the AIs, you can give it a picture and say, turn me into an 8-bit character, turn me do this, do that. So a lot of cool stuff happening there. But like I said, so this tip is very simple. To gain access to higher level thinking, organization, and deeper learning models of AI. If you have a Microsoft license, you get access to it. I'd say it's free for teachers. The school district's paying for the licensing at a discount for EDU, but you gain as a user at your school, you gain access to that deeper level learning. So that is my tip number 1.
Nice. Now, do you know, real quick question for you. Do you know, like, we have the Microsoft Office 365. That's free for educators as long as you have an educational address. So that doesn't qualify you necessarily for this. It has to be that the school, if they pay the licensing for Word and such, then we should have access to this.
Yeah, if you're on the free Office account, it doesn't work because, like, for example, I don't have my school account downloaded on my thing here. So when I go into Copilot, I don't think it loads in. Let me see if this pulls up. I apologize. Live demo loading here. I guess it was. I logged into my school account here. Okay. But then you'll know you are if you have, like, down here, I have the icon for the Microsoft 365 Copilot is another one, but it's got to be a school account. I think the free one, there's the basic version, or you don't get the Copilot chats. You get just very basic version. Okay. But again, if you're looking for just the lower levels, just create a OpenAI account and just have your ChatGPT in that scenario, or whether it's Perplexity or somebody else. So you have those options there.
Yeah, see, because we're a Google school, but we do have, they do use, like, we have the Microsoft Office 365 because we're educators, but I don't know if we have the license or not. I have to check into that.
No, I mean, you should check because it kind of lumped in. It's kind of like how Minecraft lumped into the certain level. I don't know if it was A3 or A5 level, but it's quite possible. But if you have it, it takes somebody in the back end to click the button to turn it on. And so currently we have all that turned on for educators, not for students. We have the students kind of blocked out. So I think we talked about that before.
Yeah.
All right. So that's number one. Number two, when I was doing my search, speaking about Perplexity, pull this in here. Like I said, I like using it. And I was like, yo, what are some good deals for teachers on, and I spelled Amazon wrong. But it is Amazon Prime Day deals today and tomorrow. So it's just kind of an interesting what AI thought would be good. We got thermal laminators for up to 40% off backpacks. So the big tip is there's an Amazon Prime deal today and tomorrow that's going. And there are some good things if you're looking for some things for your classroom as you've been going and realizing I can use a couple different things. You might want to check out Amazon. So that's a different type of tech news, but that's where we're going with that. All right. And now for the tech stuff that my daughters get annoyed at me for when I'm randomly on this thing called TikTok. And look, the PAECT Pod is on TikTok.
Nice.
We haven't given Dom full control of it yet, but he'll put some good stuff on there. But my tech tip is this. Everybody loves Canva and what it offers for educators. But did you know, and again, maybe it's just me and my algorithm and how they're hitting me and attacking me with their different advertising, but you could do a search for hidden fonts, or I typed in Canva font hacks, and there are some unique codes that when you plug it in. So around this time, I didn't look, but I'm gonna assume there's a Rocky Horror Picture theme, like with their lettering. There's all sorts of different ones, the different kind of mural stuff. So when you scroll through here, like it's just unique fonts that kind of pull in, but you've got to know the code. So this is kind of the mural. Almost looks like, gosh, that reminds me of what's the Subway Surfer. It's kind of got that Subway Surfer style going there. So there's some different things that are going as far as your coding goes. So different lettering that's going. So again, this is just a unique concept where you can do a search for that. And Canva is just an amazing platform, being the convestador that I am with my different gear here and talking about it and using it at school. But they do have some really cool stuff that they've created, and it's just sitting there. And a lot of times they create it for themselves. And to get to it, it's kind of like, they just got that secret code to get to it. But then once it's found out, you can get access to it for free. Yeah. So if you are looking to kind of liven up some of your different materials and things, or get it themed for pumpkin themes, you got your Halloween themes right here. So unlock Canva secret font class with different character stuff to put in. So now's a great time to kind of pull that in there. Hey, there you go. Some latte art, break that in. So yeah, so some cool stuff there. So that's those are your three things that are kind of school related. And then this is the one where my daughters really get annoyed at me with. But so, being the educator, being the, we've got to, prep meals, and kids are running all different places. And I'm sure, you're in your different ways you have it. Looks like my video froze, but hopefully my audio is still going.
Your audio is fine.
Even though I've, talked to Xfinity and we've upgraded everything. So, but so what's interesting is that on TikTok, there's this thing called Croctober. So it is currently the season for Croctober. So my daughters get really mad at me because I'm sending them TikToks of different recipes and things that are happening for her. So you can set it and forget it. There's all sorts of themes going on there. So let me just, oops.
See, when you said Croctober, I wasn't sure which way you're going. I didn't know if you were going shoes, if you were going the reptile, or I wasn't thinking crockpot, but that would be cool. Crockpot. I am all about that. So Eric's still on the stream, audio only.
Yeah, if you can hear me. Yeah,
we can hear you.
All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, that was my last one, Croctober. So look it up on TikTok. A lot of different things going on there. And yeah, I love talking to my, cable company and saying, I have issues where I drop out. Oh, we're going to set you up. You are not going to have any issues with this feed. And here we are. So welcome to technology. All right. But a lot of good stuff going on there. Anything else to add at the end there, Dom, with your stuff?
No. Well, the one thing I got to throw props out to my kids, my students. We've been doing on my my class podcast I put out on Saturday. So I had 2 students come out with a joke of the week, which it crushes me, but they have surpassed me in popularity with their joke of the week over my dad joke of the week segment. And I have two other students come out and do a riddle of the week, which is also very popular. But then I did like what I learned or what I did in Sal's class this week segment. So I have at least one student from each period, just little 15-second, what did we cover in class? Put that out, and then I give my weekly review. Well, this past week, so I have sound traps set up for the kids. They went through and they found a good rap beat, and they rapped what they did. They were out in the hallway with the microphone, and on a little spur of the hallway. But they did their, can we rap a segment? I'm like, sure. And they were all fired up, and it was pretty good. They dropped the music in and matched up with the Krenzer not liking the dad puns. But yeah, the kids they wrapped the segment, so they're getting creative with it. And I have more and more students, like they're picking music, they're making music with sound trap and putting that into the podcast, which is what I have wanted to do for a while, and they're starting to take off with it now and move that forward. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, if you want to learn more about that, right, we talked about Pete and C earlier, but that's going to be, we're going to be doing our live podcast, and we'll be talking about that, kind of doing our session during a live podcast, so in the podcast studio. But that's awesome. Yeah, so every so often, man, the dad puns just got to take a back seat, man. You never know. Just let somebody else.
I got it. Although their joke of the week is almost dad joke-ish. I have to. It's in that league, but they're just doing it better than I am.
Well, it's funny you say that. At the end of the day, one of my students was like, they were talking, and this girl was just asking this other girl, like these joke questions, and I was like overhearing while I was doing some work, and then the girl goes, "Did you steal my phone and look at all my notes?" And she's like, "What?" She goes, "I have all these dad jokes at Apple Notes, and you're like, you got all of them. You haven't even been tricked by any of these." And I was like, they're not just in your Apple Notes. They've been around a while. So
yes.
Yep. But yeah, even like I called my dad today, one of his favorite ones. He's like, "Oh, we just got home. Do you have ESPN?" And I laughed and I said, "Oh, it's funny. I've been wrestling with my cable company," but he did get it and just handed the phone off to my mom. So I got to talk to her. So, but yeah, no, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to highlight a little bit of what's happening around the state with this little thing we like to call PAECT.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do some updates. And as always, highlighting our calendar. So we've got not just Croctober, but we got October and PAECT. So we've got a little bit. We got the GameCon happening on the 11th, kicking off, and then even rolling into. So that's going to be the 11th and 12th. So all weekend long. On the 14th, we've got the KTI chat. I'm going to click in here. So they're going to be talking about some AI things, I do believe. I know Krenzer's watching. She can chime in if she has any updates on what they're going to be discussing. But that information's been going out there. So that's, check the socials and check Facebook for that information. And then, Dom, you already chatted about, so you want to talk about the Slippery Rock building Lego Connections?
Lego Connections. Register for that. It is Friday, October 17th in two places, St. Mary's Makerspace, and also at Kids Innovation Playground in Slippery Rock. It is a Northwest event, but guys, Slippery Rock's right on the 79 corridor. St. Mary's is, you get hit from the central parts of the state, southwest, northwest. At the Slippery Rock Center, KIPP is a really great facility.
Yeah.
So, check that out. It's going to be fun. You get to pick. They have a series of Lego sets you can choose to make. They ask you once you register. It is free for premium members, $35 for free members. But guess what, guys? That is the price of a premium membership. So you get a premium membership if you register and you're a free member. And that is good for a year. And it gets you free and discounted. Besides it being tax deductible, I should say. It gets you free and discounted entrance into many events throughout the state and the virtual events. We have a book club coming up, couple book clubs coming up. I'll let you run with that, Eric. But this Building Connections Lego Make and Take is going to be phenomenal.
Good stuff. Yeah, yeah. I tell you, the theme of tonight is stay in your lane, Dom. All right, here we go. We've got St. Mary's, and then so you, like you said,
Same thing,
Slippery
yep.
Rock, and then St. Mary's is the other location. All right, we got a big PACT board meeting happening. Not for anybody else, but some time to really go over and lay out a lot of things we got rolling. And then the book study's kicking off. Steve, all right, we got Stephen Robertson's book, Aliens Among Us, 10 Truths About Gen Z. So I'm telling you right now, this has been an amazing book, an amazing read, amazing to utilize. And I'm reminded every day about the different things. And the cool thing is he does have a new book coming out, and he did talk a little bit about that at our KTI Summit this summer. I just chatted with him on Sunday, saw him at church, and there's some things that he's almost ready to release. So getting very excited for that. But sign up for that. You got 4 sessions. If you have a Kindle Unlimited account, it is free. On your Kindle Unlimited account, you can get the book, or if you want to get the hard copy. And then our 4 sessions, you got the 21st, 28th of October. You got November 4th, November 11th. Everything's through Zoom. I believe it's going to be recorded. So if you sign up for it, you're not able to make it, you can have access to that, to the video to be able to check it out. And again, taking those notes, hearing about what it is. And don't be nervous. Don't be nervous if, like, you're like Dom and I, sometimes you're not necessarily keeping pace with the reading, but the conversation, and you got enough going through the old-fashioned cliff notes and kind of looking over it. But there's really a lot to glean from those conversations. And I'm such an auditory learner that I benefit from being in those rooms and hearing the conversations. And then it's kind of, I'm making connections and then sharing. So we love our book studies here at PACT.
Yeah. And it's a great book, not just for connecting with students, but also your coworkers, because let's face it, Gen Z is in the workforce now.
I just think back when Dom first started, I am sure his colleagues were hoping and praying and wishing they had some kind of book to help them understand him in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? All right. I'll point fingers at you and stay away from me. We've got Tech Retreat with the PAECT Pod, so we're going to be cranking that out October 21st. So you'll want to check that out. So always excited. I hate doing self-promotions. We shouldn't have done that. But anyway, that's all right. Now we got to charge ourselves. Okay. Then the book study rolling, and let's just double check. I think we're good there. Is there anything major that's already in? All right, nothing's sitting there. So let's look at the Glide Show, the Game Con. Oh, so the October 17th. I don't think was that on there. The Innovation Program Playground.
That is the
Lego
Make and Take.
Okay,
that's the Lego Make and Take, and then you have the Pumpkin PD,
which I think was canceled, if I do remember. Just not a lot of people stepped up for that, so I think that did get canceled. Yep. All right, and that's what we got going on during the month of October. And dude, so next show we're gonna have to have a talk because Halloween is on a Friday. So what is your classroom going to look like? That's the question. That's going to be the big question. So hopefully we'll get a lot of people on to share their ideas of what they're going to be doing. So we'll have 10 days post-show to get ready for Halloween in our classrooms.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm looking for, I got to get out to Hershey because I need more chocolate. I haven't been stress eating chocolate this year, but I like keeping that stash of Hershey Dark Minis. Oh,
there you go. Well, I do have to say, I remember last year I didn't have time, and as the years go, I have less time because with PhD we were pretty busy during P&C. But I remember those first couple of years, man. I literally was just combing through all the baskets in the rooms, pulling out my formal observation in costume. Last year I did it dressed as a hot dog. I remember seeing a picture online about that there, Meg. That's hilarious. So yeah. But I do remember early years, like combing through and pulling out all the special dark, just putting them in a bag and like keeping them separate as I was going around. And then you'd hear this noise. You're in a session, you'd hear a noise. You're like, they just reloaded the box. I can't wait to get outside. So yeah.
Last year I made the series of TikToks because the kids didn't give me back my power cord.
Yeah.
One of my students accidentally took it home, and throughout Pete and C, I was snacking on the free candy, doing a series of TikToks until this could have been yours. Yeah. But I don't have my power cord, and I got it back.
Yeah. Oh, you did. I did not hear the end of that story. That's good.
I did get it back, and of course, I avoided my doc because I was afraid of getting my blood tested to see exactly what the sugar level was after all the eating of candy,
munching. That's funny. That's good stuff. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. But now, so Taylor Swift's boyfriend and his brother were talking about, because they're sponsored by Reese's right now, and so they talk about the new Reese's peanut butter cup. Have you heard about the new one?
No.
It's the Oreo.
Okay.
So it's got the cookie, the Oreo cookie, and then you got your peanut butter, and then it's got a marshmallow top on it, and then the chocolate all around it and on the bottom. So my daughter has been hunting these down when we run to this store or that store, and I guess last evening I was in a meeting working on program stuff for Pete, and she comes downstairs and she's like, close your eyes, close your eyes. I'm like, mute the mic, and I'm like, I'm in a meeting, kind of tough to close my eyes. Dad, seriously, close your eyes. So I was like, all right, close my eyes. I told her, hold on, my daughter's got something for me, so I mute it, close my eyes. She's like, hold your hand out. So I put my hand out, and she got like a 2-pack. She was at Sheetz, and she said to the woman, I have been looking everywhere for these. And the lady's like, I got you. Come on, come with me. So they were like not hidden, but not fully out there.
Yeah.
So last night we had the taste test, and it's a texture thing. So, working through that cookie aspect that throws you off because you're used to a, Reese's peanut butter cup in the true form, but interesting. So I'd be curious about if you had a couple of those and cut them into like pieces, almost like a little pie, and have your kids try those, what they would think. So, but there you go. There's your candy tip from the pod today. Look for those Oreo Reese's peanut butter Oreo cookie cups. I don't know what they're called, but anyway. All right, brother. Well, listen. So I think we're towards the end here. We're about the 57-minute mark. Got a lot of people on, a lot of good. I appreciate everybody shouting out. And just to reemphasize, AI in the classroom is the KTI chat happening next week. So it's definitely excited for what they're going to be sharing there. And so a lot of great things going on. And make sure, check your email. Pete and C registration is open. Check out the website, scan the stuff. If you put in, check your email. There's accepted, wait list, rejected, all through the scenario. So very important. Crenger's calling out your stress chocolate eating. Oh man, he's got a daughter in college now. Yeah, he's in that new life.
And it's passive aggressive too, because I'll go and grab candy. I'll come out and eat in front of the kids. They're like, "Do we get any?" I'm like, "No, you're making me eat this. I don't want to eat this right now."
Yeah, well, okay, so I guess I should tell on myself, Dom, that you say that, and torturing kids with eating. I mean, teaching kids about the value of patience. I owe my kids donuts. So I roll into our local Maple Donuts on this past Friday. And of course, question number 1, what you do now? And I was like, well, it's kind of like Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. And I'm about 6 deep in errors. And there you go. If you show up, you're going to get some candy. And she's like, well, we got bad news. No day olds. And I'm like, no way. So every day the kids have been like, where's our donuts? Where's our donuts? So the one day a team decided to bring in some donuts for the teachers just randomly. And the kids were like, where's the donuts? Where's the donuts? I'm like, you know what? I actually did see donuts. They got so excited. I left, walked to the factory, which is right around the corner, told my aide that she was out in the hallway. Hey, real quick, pop in, watch the kids. I'll be right back. She's, what are you doing? I go, nothing good. I don't want to tell you. Okay, you'll find out later. So I go, I cut one in half so it's got like the jelly oozing. I come in the room and it's just oozing out. They're like, are there more for us? I was like, actually, this is the only one that was left. Oh, they were so mad at me. So, but I am on the hunt. I got to get down there. And even one kid stalked them out. I guess some of them showed up after we were there on Sunday. And he's like, oh, we popped in and they were on the shelf. Do you have them? I'm like, well, when I popped in, they weren't there. So, but yeah, so I am in. I let them know that I would tell them myself this evening. And I almost forgot to. But yep, the donut holes. So yeah, my 6th graders are not patiently waiting. Every day they remind me. So yeah, I've been using it to make a lot of mistakes lately. I've been using it to make a lot of mistakes and get away with it. So that means we get another one. I'm like, oh, so you only won at 1 the first time, so now it's at 2, because I usually give them 4, and they're like, oh, well, no, okay. I was like, all right, okay. Well, I'm at 2 though. I got the 4 limit, then I got to owe more. So it's been a good time. Always good. So. All right, so telling on ourselves, we got chocolate being delivered to Dom. I think this has been a pretty successful pod. So I think,
definitely.
I think it's time to kind of crank these out and make sure we don't forget to thank our sponsors. But oh yes, as a patient 6th grader, preaching to the choir, she knows the deal. That's right. So well, we're at the end. It's the first. We got a week off, and then we're gonna be back at it. A lot of great stuff happening in the state, but always remember, PAECT.
We are
the voice of EdTech
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
Let's thank our sponsors and thank you all for being here this evening. Hope everything's going well. Rock October.
Take care, everybody. PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First.
Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS.
Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.